What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another review. Today we're going to be looking at the Adidas Adizero SL after 50 miles. Also, if you're more interested in the specs of the Adidas SL and my first out-of-the-box impressions, please go check out my initial review. I'll put the link in the description below. And I also want to take a quick moment to thank everybody that watched the video I posted about my struggles with cancer and how I've got to where I am in running. So thank you for all the kind words. Thank you for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't had a moment to check out that video, I will also put the link in the description below. So initially when I got this shoe right out of the box, I didn't know if this was like a Boston-esque shoe or is it an Adios kind of shoe, but it falls in the middle. Now it has a lot of stack height, so you can take it on the longer distances, but it's surprisingly nimble and very comfortable. It's like Adidas kind of took the best of both worlds and combined them into one shoe. Initially when I put this shoe on, I was a bit concerned that this would start feeling a lot like the Boston. I mean, it felt really stiff. The heel, you could tell it was a bunch of light strike and it felt a little bit firm, but the forefoot has always been very soft, and it's because there's a slab of that Light Strike Pro right under the ball of your foot. Also, after I started running the shoe, very quickly it went from a stiff shoe that like really couldn't bend to something that's very flexible. Another concern I had about this shoe was that the tongue, it's not gusseted on either side, so a lot of people can experience slipping with something like that. But I have to say that like after 50 miles, the tongue is almost one of my favorite parts. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin. And it hasn't moved once. I've had no problems with it. It's just been very comfortable. Also, Adidas put really thin laces on top of it, which to me made it gave it a little bit more of a race feel, but it was also just a very comfortable ride. Another great part about this SL is that it's not like Adidas' typical long and narrow shoe. This has a toe box that is actually quite wide and it's super enjoyable. My toes can even splay out a little bit. And I know running in the Takumi Sen and the pros, it's been a little bit of, there's a little extra toe room, but like, you know, it's two. So this has been a very nice change for me. In terms of rubber and the durability of the shoe, I mean, as you can see with this footage here, there is wear on the outside where I kind of land and start transitioning towards my big toe, but that's it. I mean, this thing looks like it can last you hundreds and hundreds more miles. And as the miles progressed in the shoe, something that started off feeling stiff and rigid started to feel natural. I've taken this shoe on easy runs, tempo runs, threshold workouts, and you name it, this thing has responded quite well. I was able to pick up the pace. It just felt fluid. Again, it felt natural. It didn't feel big and bulky, but it also didn't feel minimal and like I didn't have enough. Also, I had no hot spots and 0 blisters in the shoe. And that's saying a lot because I actually spend a lot of my miles running sockless. In terms of things I don't like about the SL, there's not too much in terms of daily training use. But I would have to say is that as good as this upper is and as comfortable as it is, it absorbs water like no one's business. And I sweat a lot when I run, so there's a lot coming down on the shoe, but it never wicks it away. And I'm coming back to the shoe after a day, after almost 2 days, and it's still wet. So that is definitely a problem. But apart from that, it looks like Adidas just put out a really good daily trainer that's accommodating a lot of different foot types and for a lot of different people. I think this is an amazing entry shoe into the Adios line, and I think Adidas did a really good job with this. I would say if you're in the market for something you can pick up the pace in, you can do your steady long runs in, or you can just get some easy miles in. The Adios SL is a great shoe for you. Again, just note though, when you do get it out of the box, it does feel a little bit stiff and it does feel rigid. However, once you start running in it more and more, it just becomes softer and even more responsive, I would say. So thanks everyone for tuning into another review. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, keep running.